Hello, my dearest listeners. I figured it was about time for a housekeeping update about all things Faithfully Yours Mozart and, of course, creative-wise. So, first things first, Amazon update based on the Amazon situation. So, only one of my books was restored. We restored, the appeal was one for the restoration of my disabled fiction and own voices category. The email was as follows: Dear Faith, we after considerable consideration, we basically have come to the decision that you were telling the truth when you put out there that your book has the word they used was some disabled and own voices content. That's bullshit. The entirety of the trilogy itself is fully fledged disabled fiction. It just so happens that it takes place in an era where the word autism didn't exist. And so therefore, because the word autism doesn't explicitly exist, if it's not in your face, clearly it can't be disabled fiction. I will still tout this. Second in relation to the Amazon situation, jumping right in. Not all of the books were appealed. Only one, which I did not realize. Because it was a very stressful situation the night of trying to figure out what the hell, and I've asked and they won't tell, basically. I don't know what they think their standards are for, apparently now there's a standard to what makes something disabled fiction, which is even more bullshit. So there's that. We'll keep everybody updated on the appropriate channels for any updates in relation to appealing the entirety of all my books, at least related to the Faithfully Yours Mozart series. So that is one housekeeping update. Second, wisdom teeth. So, as I had said before, the reason why I went on hiatus until March was because I was supposed to have my wisdom teeth out in January. That did not happen. Big, massive, fudging storm hit the East Coast, so it rescheduled for March 13th, specifically. So, things will be coming out for Faithfully Yours Mozart. I promise you, in March, we are still returning. There might just be delays because I will be out of commission for God knows how long it takes to recover from those sort of things, particularly when all 4 of your wisdom teeth are coming out. So that's another sort of update there. However, I worked on a very small project recently, one that I am most proud of. It is a new book trailer for a fantasy steampunk Victorian series of mine, because I'm not just a one-track, one-note creator. I do have other things that I write, much to the chagrin and annoyance of people for some reason. I have other things that I've written. I've written Chaotic Idiots High School Days Volume 1, which is out as a graphic novel. I have written 2 World War II pieces relating to the life of Stephen Haggard. I have a whole host of course, Faithfully Yours Mozart books are out there. New covers for the standard editions are out. Link below, of course, to that page where if you're not interested in buying the portrait covers and you'd like something that's a little bit more handheld, they are going for $14 USD in paperback, and anywhere in the $20 to $21 range in hardcover. I've also been updated with new covers for 2026. They are beautiful. I love them. I worked really hard on them. So give those a look through if you will. What else is coming out? Oh yes, new novel for April. It is called The Empath's Guide to Getting It Wrong. It is my very first attempt to write an autistic female, so there's that as well. I have lots of books coming. I have lots of things coming. As a matter of fact, update for a new short coming out that I illustrated. It is called Dearest Little Husband, Darling Little Wife. And it is an 80-page short. Technically, I had to buff it out with a preview for Chaotic Idiots because my drawing tablet died on me. It cracked, it burned, and so the the Dearest Little Husband, Darling Little Wife is a Mozart manga, a short Mozart manga that I created for a contest that I did not win. You know, as is my luck. But I tried, the prize money would have been nice. But, it just wasn't good enough, I suppose. But that's okay. It is good enough. It will be good enough for somebody. And if you love Mozart and you love Constanza and you're kind of tired and sick of seeing, Mozart becomes some kind of weird boy in manga and anime recently, as much as I love Classical Stars and Classical Lloyd and Ickman Vampire of all things. If you want to see Wolfgang just be Wolfgang and Constanza be Constanza, this short is for you. It's short, it's sweet, it's adorable, and it is intended to be the start of a series of Mozart mangas I am creating for all ages. It is appropriate. It contains nothing sexual, sensual, spice, like none of that shit. Kind of done with it. Let's start writing sweet stories, particularly in mangas that everybody can enjoy, where we don't have to have, I would say that I was really inspired by the Ice Guy and his cool female colleague when I was creating this manga. Everything from the colors to the art itself. I was very much inspired by that sweet, romantic office place comedy where, it's a guy and a girl who are slowly building a budding relationship in a realistic manner. But they do it tastefully, because not all romance has to be spice, sex, and sensuality. And it's nice to have a manga out there that actually prioritizes the friendship and the building of that relationship over just like, let's get it on. Because I can enjoy it and I feel very seen by that. I also feel like, because some of my listeners here are neurodivergent, if you want a clean romance that's particularly a manga, pick up The Ice Guy and the Cool Girl, because it's relatable, it's sweet, it's endearing, it's very neurodivergent coded. I feel like Fuyutsuki and Himaru are very autistic coded, and I feel like if you're on the spectrum, you'll really relate to them. Also, I'll give a little shout out to some disabled mangas out there. Josei the Tiger and the Fish is a beautiful one. Silent Voice is also quite beautiful, tackles bullying and disability. And Sign of Affection is the third one. There's others out there that I would consider coded, but these are like three specifically that I have seen the adaptations for and would highly recommend that you take a look at. They're really, really good. Beautiful depictions of disability in the world of manga, which we need more of. I am an absolute 100% advocate for this, and I think that we definitely need more. But I have one coming too, and so, my little take on a very autistic Wolfgang is coming. And it is coming in Dearest Little Wife, and Darling Little Husband. And I hope that you'll pick it up. It's not that long, it's not that big, but it was an absolute labor of love, because I drew all the panels in about 3 days. and then wasn't, not able to do anymore because I hit a bit of a block, and like a drawing block, which I have long stretches of time that I just hit drawing blocks. And life happened, and then my tablet died on me. Totally cracked. So I can't do digital art right now, which makes me sad. But, life happens, and at some point, I'll get back to it. I know I will. So, if you like Mozart, and you want to pick up Darling Little Wife and Dearest Little Husband, that is releasing on February 14th. That's been ready for a while now. I was just hoping to bulk it out a little bit more with more panels, more art. I have a whole plan for this manga that I'm writing, as well as I had plans to return to Chaotic Idiots with book 2 for the Chaotic Idiots series. So beyond Faithfully Yours Mozart, I do have things that I am doing that I truly hope you'll come along with me and you will follow me on. I know we all hate the Zon. I have had trouble with the Zon, but it would really mean a lot to me if you would check out some more of my works. Beyond Faithfully Yours Mozart, as much as that's a series that I seemingly made some money on, which is nice. I made a little bit of money on Faithfully Yours Mozart. But there's more coming than just that. And there's more out, I have 8 books out, technically. My Goodreads will tell you I have 14, but I really technically only have 8, And I have, 8, 9, I have a very small handful of books out that I really think deserve some attention. So, that is, I suppose, my next bit in this little update. Returning to Coffee Break, I have a little podcast out there called Coffee Break. It's not very big. I have a handful of episodes, but mainly because I can only do 2 interviews per year, and then I hit burnout on that podcast. It's very hard to reach out and get guests and write questions, and then I should say that trying to be a podcast guest these last couple of years has been hellish. But a little word of advice. If you're going to be a podcast host, here's what I would say that you shouldn't do. Don't quit on your guest when there are technical problems. I literally had this happen to me, and it is the most offensive and tactless. That's the word. It's unprofessional. It's tactless, it's crass. It shows that you really don't care about making sure that your guest has the best experience, even if there is a technical mishap. And it has frustrated the hell out of me. I won't name the podcast that did this to me. They did it to me last night. Because I'm not tactless. But just so everybody knows, if you are ever a guest on Coffee Break, my promise to you, if you have a technical problem, we will work through that problem until both of us can be heard. I don't care what level, I don't care if your mic cuts out, if there are skips, drops, and all kinds of bullshit. Because what matters to me most as a podcaster and as a creative is that the people around me have a good time. I don't care about the imperfections. So, I don't care about any imperfections that happen during, a podcast session with me. But if you, as a host, and this goes out to everybody, if you're a host of a podcast and you come into a session with whether it's me or anyone else as a guest, and they're having mic trouble, and maybe they need to adjust their settings, or maybe they need to switch, let me say this to you, and then I shall bid you all a fine farewell. Don't quit on somebody just because they might have to adjust or fix something. They can't predict if there's going to be a technical mishap when they jump into your Riverside room. And by the way, Riverside HQ sucks. It is the worst podcasting platform I have ever been on. And I have had so many technical troubles with Riverside HQ with guests of mine. It dropped guests. I've had it completely and utterly drop guests in and out and in and out. But do you know what I didn't do? I didn't quit on my guests and say, oh, we can't do this because you're the one having the problem. They don't have the problem. The platform does. So, with that in mind, if you're a podcast host, don't quit on your guest. Don't. And that is a word of wisdom from me. Thank you. And until March, when Faithfully Yours Mozart returns, I'm Faith Jacobs, signing off.